Okay, we are finally here for the NBA play-in round of the 2024-2025 season. Today, 4 teams go at it in the 7 versus 8 matchup, with the Atlanta Hawks going to Orlando, Florida to take on the Orlando Magic, and the Memphis Grizzlies going to San Francisco, California to take on the Golden State Warriors. The winner of this game, obviously, or of these games, advance to be the 7th seed. So in the West, you go take on the Rockets. In the East, you go on to take on the Boston Celtics, and the loser gets another home game, possibly, to take on the winner of the 9-10 games tomorrow. So we get to those games tomorrow. Those are win or go home games. But here, again, win and you are officially in the playoffs. Lose and you have one more chance at them. We're going to talk about both these games and give our best bets and predictions, again, for these 2 spots. And folks, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more daily NBA predictions and best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our MLB best bets, trying to get back on track with the MLB. Go check out that video. That is linked in the description down below. And also on Greedo Plays MMA this week, we have our PFL 3 predictions with Impa Kasanganay and Fabian Edwards in the main event from Orlando, Florida. Go make sure to check that out. Link in the description down below. And go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA as well. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so go show us some love over there. Okay, we go to the first of our 2 games today. This might not be a surprise to you if you've been watching if you've been watching us all year long with the NBA. I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks to beat the Orlando Magic and advance to the playoffs. This is not Hawks bias. I legitimately think they win this game. The Hawks and Magic split in the regular season 2 games apiece. Now, we don't really count the last one. It was in Atlanta and it was won by the Hawks, but that was primarily just a, reserves game. I think Keaton Wallace had a triple-double in that one. It just happened a couple days ago, and obviously Atlanta won that game. So in the games where both of these 2 teams have their starters playing, Atlanta won once, Orlando won twice. The first time they matched up was February 10th. Hawks won 112-106 in Orlando. Now, this was with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner in the lineup. Obviously, both of them dealt with torn obliques throughout the course of this season, but both Banchero and Wagner played in this game, and the Hawks came out on the right side. It was a very interesting game going back and rewatching it, because Trey has a really bad night. He goes 6 for 17 from the field, 1 for 8 from the three-point line, and yet the Hawks still win. It was the bench unit out of guys like Karis LeVert, Terrence Mann, hell, George Niang's going to hit some shots too, but the bench guys really came in and gave them big minutes. And ultimately, that's what the Hawks are going to have to do in this game to beat Orlando. And I think they have all the skills necessary to beat this Magic team. I definitely think. I mean, we've said it before with the Hawks and Magic, but I'll say it again. It's just a clash of styles, right? Atlanta, a fast-paced offensive team. Orlando, a squad that's going to try to slow the game down, take their best shots, obviously, and try to shut you down defensively. Atlanta is always going to be running the entire game. In the regular season, the Hawks 40-42, the Magic 41-41, the Southeastern champion Orlando Magic winning that division. But you look at the other 2 games, both very competitive. The Magic won the second game 10 days after the initial one in Atlanta, 114-108. The third game won by the Magic as well, 119-112. I do think Trae Young is important in this game, but he hasn't really stood out in 2 of the 3 matchups he played against Orlando this season. The second game in Atlanta, he did score, I believe, 38 points against the Magic, ultimately, again, in a loss. But it's all going to come down to the supporting cast for the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, we know Trae Young is going to have a night, and obviously it's important for Trae Young to have a more efficient night shooting than the Hawks' only victory against, Banchero and Wagner for the Magic, right? Trey's a guy averaged 24.5 points this season, 12 assists, insane numbers. We've said it all year long, but Trae is going to need to have a really good shooting night. But it doesn't really come down to him. I think it comes down to the three-point shooting. I really think it does. And I'm looking at guys off the bench. We'll see if Atlanta goes short in rotation tonight. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But Karis LeVert, who, had very, mediocre numbers this season. That's not a bad thing. Mediocre numbers compared to the entire league. Like, Karis LeVert literally is the league average. That's the entire line that Karis LeVert posted this season was the exact average in the NBA. 21 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists. 3.5 assists. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I'm just telling you, Karis LeVert's going to produce. You get a guy like George Niang, who's going to come off the bench, and I feel like he always hits a big shot for the Atlanta Hawks. Those 2 guys are very important. We'll see if Keaton Wallace gets much run. He is a young player, obviously. I think Wallace is going to be a really good player and a very big part of this Hawks rotation next year, with potentially Trae Young not being on the squad anymore. But again, I think Keaton Wallace, if possible, is going to play some big minutes tonight as well. Onyeka Okongwu, finally given the chance to start for the Hawks, has really developed, right? Clint Capella's been their guy for years. Capella's still injured, not going to be back for the play-in. If they advance to the playoffs, I would likely expect Capella to come back and serve in a bench role, but Onyeka Okongwu's done a great job. And we need to give a lot of credit. I've been really just, waving the flag for Zachary Rissache, but it's something that needs to be said. Is he the Rookie of the Year? I think he should get it. They're going to give it to Stephon Castle. That's okay. Zachary Rissache is number 2. He is. He's the second best rookie, and he's 19 years old, and nobody's talking about what he has done in the second half of the season. Guys, Zachary Rissache in the second half of the NBA season this year is averaging about 14.5 points per game. And the shooting's there. I mean, Rissache is a very reliable shooter for this Hawks squad. And dare I say he's the number 2 option on this team? He probably is. I mean, Dyson Daniels, again, should be the most improved player, should be the defensive player of the year. He's probably going to get neither of those. But the Great Barrier Thief has played a great season all year long for the Hawks as well. And again, Trae Young's still on the team. Trae Young is a guy who has won time in and time out with this squad at taking them to the playoffs. He's won in the play-in in years past. I know it didn't go their way last year in the play-in, but I'd argue they're better this year. I think Dejounte Murray's a good basketball player. It obviously didn't work last year with both Murray and Young on the squad. Now, we look at Orlando, right? The Magic, we know what they bring, a defensive-minded group who won a bunch of games to close the regular season. I just don't know what's going to happen in terms of, that's why Corey Joseph is there. And that's why he's going to start, is because they're going to likely switch a lot, but they're going to put a guy like Corey Joseph on Trae Young to, again, limit what Young can do. But obviously, Trae's a pass-first guy. So it really just all comes down to how much Banchero and how effectively Banchero can be, which he is. He's very good. Franz Wagner, who hasn't been as good since pre-oblique injury, I'll be honest. Wagner is still very solid, but we have seen Banchero really just take over since he's come back and since both him and Wagner have come back. And then you look at another guy in the starting lineup like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, right? Former Denver Nugget, huge pickup for the Magic, who's just been disappointing this season. He will have his games where he's going to knock down threes, but this is a guy who's averaging 9 points a game this season and just isn't as efficient of a shooter as he used to be. So I'm telling you, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a huge factor in this basketball game as well. We know Orlando's got a decent bench. You're going to see guys like Cole Anthony, like Gary Harris, like a very good defensive player in Jonathan Isaac come off the bench as well. I personally, though, just believe the offensive-minded team, the Atlanta Hawks, the team that's going to run, is going to find a way to win this game. I just think they can hurt Orlando a lot, and I get it, the Magic play great perimeter defense, but everyone on the court can shoot for the Hawks. I mean, we'll see. Again, they're starting Mohamed Gay now, which, Gay's a player from Washington State. I believe this is his second year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. He's been all right, and Mohamed Gay is another very good board grabber on the squad. He really helps out on Onyeka. So again, you got Trae, you got Dyson, you got Rissache, you get the guys off the bench like LeVert and Yang. And now, all right, Gay's going to is going to get rebounds. Onyeka is going to fight for rebounds as well. I think I don't mind Wendell Carter Jr., but it's apparent Wendell Carter is undersized. He plays bigger than he actually is. But I just don't think it's a bad matchup at all for the Hawks. I think they're going to win this game in Orlando. I expect Paolo Banchero to go off, but we'll see. I'd assume... we'll see who they put on Banchero. Because Dyson's going to either have him or Franz. It'll probably be Paolo, but we'll see. We'll see. And then obviously Trae will be on KCP or Corey Joseph, one of the two. Rissache will get either Wagner or Dyson, or Wagner or Banchero, whoever Dyson doesn't get in most likeliness. We'll see. I'm taking the Hawks to win this basketball game, though. I think there's great value on this one. It feels like a game that's really close, and I just think the high-scoring tempo of the Atlanta Hawks is going to keep them in this game and ultimately win them this game. I think it's going to be really close, but I think in the end, the Hawks just find a way to cross the finish line. I'm taking Atlanta, plus 170 here on the money line. You can take the points as well, plus 5.5. I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks to move on to the NBA playoffs and take on the Boston Celtics in the first round, and we'll see the Orlando Magic later this week against the winner of the Heat and Bulls. We move on to our other game tonight, and yes, I know what you're thinking. You're taking the Grizzlies. Yeah, I know. I'm taking Memphis here, guys. The Warriors are 0-3 in the NBA play-in round. They are 0-3. The Grizzlies are going to beat them tonight. And I get it. Memphis is not playing their best basketball right now. You can argue the Warriors aren't either, though. Guys, Golden State's lost 3 out their last 5 games. They lose to the Clippers. Competitive game, obviously. Draymond Green misses a layup at the end. Whatever. We're not going to talk about the fact that Draymond hit a lot of big threes to keep the Warriors in that game. But they lose to the Clippers. They beat the Blazers the game before in Portland in a game where the Blazers were sitting all their guys. Harrison Barnes walks them off with a 3-pointer the other night. And then they beat the Suns prior to that. And then a loss to the Rockets at home where Steph Curry got locked up by Amen Thompson. All I'm saying is for the Warriors in this spot, I'll say it right now, I don't think the Warriors are falling out the playoffs. I think if they lose this game, which I think they will, I do think they are going to beat the winner of the Mavericks and the Kings. I just think they're so much better than those teams. I do think they lose to Memphis, though. I believe it. Again, I don't think the Warriors are that bad. It's just, I think Memphis can get them in this spot. Guys, we also got to think, Golden State just played a very tough game 2 days ago. Jimmy Butler got injured at the end of that game. He's not on the injury report. It looks like he's fine. But even if he was hurt, the Warriors aren't putting that on the injury report before a potential, playoff clinching game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So at what percent is Jimmy Butler? At what percent is Steph Curry? He played the last game, obviously, and Curry, was all right. He was good. And that win over the Clippers had 36 points. And I'm not going to deny the talent that Steph Curry has, but I still do worry about the supporting cast around Steph. I mean, there's this whole playoff Jimmy Butler thing, sure. I mean, obviously now he gets to the free throw line like no other player in the league. I mean, we want to talk about Shea going to the line all the time. Look at how many times Jimmy Butler gets to the free throw line now. Just saying. They've got the supposed defensive player of the year on their team in Draymond Green, which is great, I guess. Good for them. But I think Memphis can win. Memphis has so much size in the Warriors. And now that can potentially come back to bite them in the ass. We know if Warriors go high pick and roll with and get Zach Edey involved, then you get the switch for Curry and Edey, and obviously it's an easy blow by, or Edey can't guard Steph. At the same time, though, the Grizzlies should be able to get every single rebound in this game with Zach Edey and with Jaren Jackson Jr. on the court. This all comes down to if the Grizzlies can hit their shots. It just does. They will have wide open shots, Memphis will. Everyone on the court can shoot but Zach Edey, right? Jaren Jackson had a career year from the three-point line. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane. I mean, if Ja plays like he did in the first half of that Timberwolves game, right? I mean, Memphis is really tricky. So Memphis is going to have the potential to win this game. They, again, just have to hit their shots. And I think they're going to be able to. I am a little bit concerned about Zach Edey on the defensive side of things. If they have to, they can just play Jaren Jackson at the 5. Hopefully he does not get into foul trouble, something that has hurt him a lot this season. But then you can, again, move Edey to the bench, and we'll see what we get in the starting, or see what we get in their main rotation, right? You're looking at, right, Ja, Bane, Williams, Jackson, and then if not Edey, probably Asante Aldama at the 4, which is okay. Now, I know Steph Curry scored 52 points the last time these two teams played in Memphis. The Warriors won the season series 3-1. I understand that. The second game they played, though, was pre-Jimmy, but Memphis blew them out 144-93. It is by far the, biggest discrepancy in score between both these squads. And yes, Steph Curry did play. That was his all-time worst game, where Steph goes 0 for 6 from the three-point line, 0 for 7 from the field, and scores 2 points. So the Grizzlies can shut Steph down. We know it can happen. And I think they do it again tonight. I'm taking Ja Morant. I'm taking Jaren Jackson. I think the Grizzlies can walk into the Chase Center and win this basketball game. Again, Golden State is yet to win a play-in game in their history. You look back to the initial play-in back in 2022, the first game they lose to the Los Angeles Lakers, and they go on to lose to Memphis at home in the second play-in game. And then just last year, they were the 10 seed, got the Sacramento Kings, and got blown out in Sacramento. And I get it. Completely different squad. Jimmy Butler's on the team now. I 100% get that. But I just think the Grizzlies are going to dominate the glass because of the bigs they're playing, because of Zach Edey. Hell, Zach Edey and Draymond Green is going to be the 5 matchup tonight. It's going to be. The Warriors are considerably much smaller than Memphis is, with Curry, Podziemski, Moody, Butler acting as their 4, and Draymond at the 5. Sure, again, you can bring in, a guy like Quentin Post, potentially a Kevon Looney, hell, even Jonathan Kuminga to make the lineup bigger. You know that we're going to see Gary Payton play often. We're going to see Buddy Hield off the bench as well. I understand that. I just think Memphis is going to they're going to be the more physical basketball team, and I think, again, they're going to control the glass. And I think Memphis wins this basketball game. Again, I am concerned about the Steph Curry high pick and roll with Zach Edey, but that's an easy switch. You can just take Edey out, play Jackson at the 5, and they'll still, I believe, dominate on the boards with with Jaren Jackson Jr., because, again, that's a former Defensive Player of the Year. I think Memphis shuts down Golden State. I think Ja Morant plays better than Steph Curry, I'm going to say. And I think the Grizzlies advance to the NBA playoffs to take on the Houston Rockets in the first round. That has NBA TV playoff series written all over it. Let's just be honest. But that's where I'm going. I'm going Memphis to win this basketball game. I think, again, they need Ja to play an elite game, kind of similar to how the Hawks need Trae Young to play an elite game for them. I think we get dominant nights at the all-star point guards in Young and in Ja Morant. If Ja can hit his shots, hit the pull-up J's that he takes, I think Memphis can win this basketball game. And when the Grizzlies get hot from beyond the arc, man, they are very dominant. I got to see them play in Portland earlier this season without Ja Morant, and they would go through stretches where they'd make 7 threes in a row with guys like Jaren Jackson, with Desmond Bane, with guys off the bench as well, like, Luke Kennard, and an Aldama who can shoot as well. They've got shooters all over the court. And I do think they're able to beat Golden State. I think they're a better defensive unit than the Warriors. And sure, again, playoff Jimmy's going to show up. I'm sure he's going to. It's a different thing. It's not his team anymore, right? Jimmy's a number 2 now on this squad. It's not like he is the primary guy at all times like he was in Miami. I think the Grizzlies get the Warriors here. I think there's great value in plus 7.5 as well as the money line. I'm going to take both. I'm going to sprinkle on both like I will with the Hawks game as well. We're going with the 2 road teams in both of these play-in games. Give me Atlanta, give me Memphis, and the Warriors will go on to take on the winner of the Kings and Mavericks, which, let's just be honest, we expect them to probably win just because those 2 teams are nowhere near the level of the Warriors. If the Grizzlies lose this game, I do get a little bit concerned. But I am going to take Memphis here. I like them to beat Golden State. I think, again, the Warriors played a very close game on Sunday. They've only got, a day in between. I get it, the Grizzlies played on Sunday as well, but they didn't play their guys in their game against the Dallas Mavericks. They've had time off. The Warriors went for it on Sunday against the Clippers like they had to, just like the Clippers did, but they lost in an overtime game. We'll see where the legs are at with just only 1 day of rest in between. I think everything to me favors the Grizzlies. I don't care the games in San Francisco. They really don't have a home court advantage, all right? It's not like it's Oracle. All those people in the crowd are rich tech people who really don't care about the outcome of the basketball game, okay? That crowd's not going to get going. The Grizzlies will shut them down, and Memphis wins this one in San Francisco, California, just like they did in 2022. So, folks, 2021. Nope, 2022. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA play-in predictions and best bets here on the channel. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Mamba forever.